I'm wondering how my camera's going to do out here. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Here's the front. And remember, they were waiting to build out this front entrance, and now I can see why. Okay, they've got some nice posts there. They've got these glue lamp, or these first beams are 6x10s, it looks like. And those aren't glue lam, but the very top one is a glue lam beam. That's going to look sharp for their front entrance. And see, they're getting close. They're getting really close with the roofing, and I thought that kind of odd there. That might be something that's just a facade, just fake, and they might build that out. We'll just have to see what happens. 3 windows, and what's probably going to be there, the windows will probably be blacked out, and it might just be for looks. They might have a nice little roof on there, and I've seen that in some houses. In fact, my mother, she's got one of those on her roof, not as big as that, but it looks kind of similar. It's like, how do you get up in there? Well, you don't, unless once they build that all out, they might cut a hole in there for so that when you're in the attic, you can get up into that area. Because usually anytime you're up in an attic anywhere, you're supposed to be able to have access to any point. And so they'll probably cut a hole there, and the inspector will probably be happy about that. And now see here, I'm just going to kind of show you. They have so many angles on this roof because it was all cut up so much, and because it's a one-story house, they had it extended so far. I was kind of curious how all of these roofs were gonna tie in and look, you know. But it's looking really good. Here's the garages, the 3, and then the big one here. See how they've done all their roof, their barge rafters, and their fascia boards. The fascia boards is the flat ones, the straight ones from left to right. The barge rafters are the ones that go up at the angle. They're all tied in nicely. It looks like they're ready for the roofer, where the barge rafters are cut to allow the shingles to go underneath there. And what you got to do there is if you're the framer, you've got to talk to the main contractor. Hey, what kind of roof are you going to put on here? Asphalt shingles? Okay, we'll just make a whatever amount they make there. I don't know what that is. It looks like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches or something. If this was a concrete tile roof, then you have to see what type of how thick your tiles are and your overlap, and they'll probably give you a size from your rough roofing to your clearance. And oh yeah, make them 2.5 inches or whatever it is, and then you've got clay tiles which kind of curve up and down like that. Then you've got something different. So you've got to know that before you cut your barge rafters. You don't want to cut your barge rafters too high or too small, because then it's a pain in the rear to cut it later, because that's cut back at an angle. It's not just cut square, it's cut back at an angle. So they had to know that before they installed that. When they cut that angle, they had to put if this is a 4 and 12 or 5 and 12 pitch, they had to cut it back at that same angle with their skill saw before they installed your barge rafters. You see what I'm saying? And see, they've got all their plywood installed now, and they've gone the extra mile. You see all these R's down at the bottom. I don't know what that means, but the builder does. And then you've got 4 down low and 4 up high. They don't want to have any questions for whoever's coming out here later, you know, because obviously there's going to be something like brick or something down at the bottom, and then maybe from there up stucco or something. And so they've got to know all this kind of stuff. Now see up here, see that tie, that strap, see that metal strap? Look how long that thing is. And on the plans they'll have something like that, and there's a big header above there, and then that ties that header in to another joining wall on both sides, and they wouldn't have done that unless it was on the plans. Okay, so that's another reason why you've got to read your plans and stuff. And I was kind of curious what they were going to do over here. Now see over here, it says R below, and here's a number 6. So we know on here the finish is going to be 6, and you look on the plans and it will tell you what the finish is. See, the finish over here is 4. Maybe there's going to be stucco on the sides, and maybe there's going to be some other cool stuff up here, or vice versa. And I was wondering, remember, this was poked out of the wall down here, the electrical panel, and they've got it, it all looks like it's nice and straight now. And before, remember, that was punched out of the wall because it wasn't going up straight. I was going to say, just heat up the pipe, push it into the wall, and you'll be fine. You don't have to have anything. Now they've got this little bump out, and it must be okay depending on what they're going to have here. Maybe they're going to have a rock finish of some sort. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here, this is just a sample piece. They've tacked it on there. Isn't that cool? So that is what the bottom is going to look like. I'm liking that, aren't you? I thought that kind of cool. That, look, they just kind of nailed it in place. Did it come like that, and did they screw it on there, or did somebody actually build this? Somebody might have actually built this right on here, piece by piece. That's what it looks like. See, this is just a sample rendering. Guys came out here and they said, "Oh yeah, fine, we'll do that for you," and that's just what the bottom is going to look like. And they're going to have to rip that down. That was just for a sample. They were okay with that because we know the window flange is going to go below that, so they'll tear this off. But that's basically what this bottom section is going to look like. Okay, that's quite nice. Okay, we're still looking on all of the roof angles. Look at this. Here's the bump out here. This was just at the garage, and they've got windows that go into the garage. I'm not a fan of having windows in the garage because you don't want anyone to look in there. We've got some windows in our garage. We got blinds, vertical blinds in there, and every time you open up the door on a windy day, the blinds go back and forth, and then they get out of kilter, and then I have to keep getting up there and twisting them back into place and stuff. They'll have blinds on there forevermore because you don't want somebody just looking into your garage. And see here, they're going to have the same thing here. They'll just put a blind there. For some reason, I don't know if it was required or maybe they're just doing it for looks. You know, they could be doing that here. They've got you can see how they've tied in their roofs with your fascia board going down into that. Everything has its place. It looks really, really good, doesn't it? What they've done. And see, remember on this garage, they decided to put a roll-up garage door here. Initially, they didn't have that. Initially, they chopped it out later, because you can see where they chopped it out and they cut it out, and they probably thought later, hey, let's go ahead and put that in. The owner might have told the contractor, the general contractor, or the general contractor might have told the owner, hey, you know what? Why don't you put a roll-up door on this side too? There's your main roll-up door. That way you can come in from both directions because it's on a corner lot. They can come in this way, or they can go out. They can come in that way, go out this way, come in this way, go out that way, or they can have a boat trailer with a car. Pull your car up, disconnect your boat trailer, pull your car out, turn your car around the other way, whatever. I mean, this thing is set up really nice, okay? And it looks like they've installed some pre-finished trim here, your door jamb material, and I'm not sure why they did that just yet. In fact, I'm actually looking everywhere, and they've done it everywhere. And so maybe they'll just take their Vitec paper wrap on the outside and just dye it up to here. I would have taken that wrap and wrapped it on the inside, at the top, the sides, and all that. But it looks like they're not doing that. And I've never seen them use this this finished material. This is like wafer board stuff. You see? Wafer board material, but they made it to make it look finished, almost like a 2x8 material that you would use. But this is only an inch thick, or a little more than an inch thick, maybe an inch and a quarter thick. And they're using that for their door jambs. See here, for all of their garage doors. And then they would have had to have figured out how much to stick it out, right? To decide how much to do that. They probably got 5/8 drywall on the inside, and then they had to find out how wide to do that, because when the guys do their finished material that I just showed you, he wants to know how far your trim needs to stick out for his transition piece, and then they just cut that, or they ordered it that same size, and they just ordered it exactly what they needed. Okay, that's what they've done with that. So looks like they've decided what they're doing with that. So that's fine. That's fine. And see, that's why I knew they were going to pour or put more dirt in here, and it's going to be only about 6 inches below that, because then that will transition your driveway right in off of there. See how high it looks now, but it's going to be up higher. Okay, and then with it being that same height, then we know the air conditioning fans that are going to be installed here, they're actually going to sit up here, not down here. Here's a door that goes into the garage from here, so you're not going to have to step down. There's not going to be boom boom. It's just they're just going to come straight out. They'll probably have, you know, some sort of concrete landing there, or stepping stones or something, but it's not going to step down. Do you see what I'm saying? And so you can see where that R thing is, and then they're saying where to stop it. So see that, and that's another thing too. To make your house less expensive, usually all of your nice stuff is shown at the front of your house, like this thing here. Okay, they're going to have it throughout the whole front of the house, and because this is on a side, because this is on a corner lot, this side of the house is considered the front of the house. And when you're driving up from the street over here, you're actually going to see a little portion of this too. So that's why they've decided to wrap that same material over here, and then they're going to dye it in. Boom, right there. They're not going to do this back of the house, this end of the house, and the back of the house, and the back of that other, because then it would be too costly. See this 4, whatever 4 means, that's going to be this whole thing, and that could mean stucco. So see, and the 4, I think that 4 was probably from there up, is my guess, because they've got the other R. Unless they decided, hey, we're not doing the R to wrap around, we're going to stop it. Let's just see. Because see, there's 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then they've changed 4s, because before it used to just be R's. We'll see. Here now they've got 6, and this is called 6. So that must mean that there must be stucco from there up, is my guess, and then this other bottom stuff is going to wrap around and stop right there, is my guess. And then that makes your house a little bit cheaper. You see what I mean? And so see, here's all your vents up on the roof over there for your air conditioning, and like I say, you try to keep those vents on the back side of your house. Same thing for your air conditioning or for your plumbing. See, these are plumbing vents, and he's got them transitioned on the outside, even though he could have put them on the front, but he ran them out this way, get them over here on the back side where nobody's going to see. See how your roof goes and stuff? Yeah, if this is stucco here, oh man, I feel sorry for the guy who has to stucco that there and stucco that over there, because you've got your roof surface. And I've seen roofing guys do it two different ways. I've seen them install the roof first, and then they have to go up there and then do the stucco on top of the brand new roof. Then you have to mask all that off and be careful as you're walking on there, making sure your stucco doesn't drip and leak on your brand new roof tiles, or you break your tiles. Here they're going to do asphalt shingles, but still, you've got to cover them. And so see, I've seen other people where they've done the stucco first, and then they've done the roofing. But then you have to figure out where your transition is. You got to measure that exactly. Put flashing up there, so your flashing is there, so you know where exactly your flashing is going to be, because you're building it backwards. Your roofing is going underneath your flashing, and you don't want your flashing up too high. You don't want it down too low. Stuff like that. Okay, so I'm not sure how they're going to do it here. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, but we'll just keep walking here a little bit more. We've got the paper is all set for the windows. You can see how they've done the sides and the bottom. They haven't done the top yet, and they're getting ready to do the Vitec paper, the paper wrap. They're not ready for that just yet. Maybe they're waiting for my guess is they're waiting for the windows first before they put the wrap on. I've seen put building wrap on two ways. I've seen them do it after the windows are installed and then put the wrap, and then I've seen them also do the wrap first and then put the windows up and then do their flashing around the windows differently. So it just depends who's doing it and how you're going to do it. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. They've got a 2x6. They've got a 2x6. You can't even really see it. It's a 2x6 extending out. Oh, I guess they're gonna. That's gonna be flat. Oh, that's kind of funky. That's gonna be flat ceiling underneath. Underneath the eave is flat, so they'll have to put some vents up in there probably. And it's just coming out and sticking out further than the fascia board. I'm not quite liking that, but it's in the back. I guess they didn't know what else to do. I've seen them where they've transitioned it. They might actually cut that back. I would cut it back straight from where this wall is, straight there, and then have it flat to there, and then this last bit is just angled. See, whoever did that, it might be one of the apprentices might have done that. Who knows? And see, I've also seen where they've got their foundation vents in, and they've got different types of foundation vents. They've got some that stick out, like if you're doing stucco, they might stick out 3/4 of an inch or 7/8 of an inch. They got all different ones. They decided to install those, and they're just installing them flat. See that? They just got them flat, and that's because that that mortar board and that transition. Oh well, no, I'm wrong. That transition stuff is not going over here. It's not going over here. And if they have stucco here, they probably should have put those other foundation vents here to stick them out, or on their stucco, they may have to put a stucco trim all the way around that. But these are some special stuff, and I think these foundation vents are the type where when they get hot, they'll melt. I think. Don't quote me on that, but my neighbor's got some like that where they installed, and when it heats up, it's supposed to melt it, so that you don't, if your house catches on fire here, you don't have foundation vents on the other side of the house, and you have air sucking your fire all the way through underneath your house. It actually shuts it off. And so we'll just have to see what they're doing here. See where they got the R? Maybe they're doing that other stuff back here too. I'm not sure. Because here they've got a 4 from there up, and the R down below. And so maybe that's why they have these flat, but then where if they're doing stucco on that other side, they might have to put a stucco trim all the way around it. And maybe that's the only type of foundation vents they could get, or maybe they just forgot and they only ordered flat ones and they didn't order the ones that extended out. They've got ones that have a flashing around there where it allows your stucco to be installed, and you actually have a trim going all the way around it for your stucco to end right on your foundation vent. Okay, but well, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. All right, so it's getting dark now, but I was just showing you the rest of what they're doing here, and I found that kind of interesting too. On the fascia board, they've got a 1x3, 1x4 sticking out, and all I can guess with that is maybe they'll attach their gutter to that, and then your gutter sticks out away from your fascia board. I've seen them do that. See, they've done the same thing on this side. They've done that same thing over here. I just haven't seen them do it on the outside, on the front yet. And here's that big, huge glulam beam here. This is all on the outside of the house. And we'll get over here. Maybe it'll be a little bit lighter. It'll be a little lighter. See, here's that 1x3 trim up there. 1x3, 1x4, 2x. It's 1.5 inches. It looks like a 2x3. And see, they do have it extended over here too, and they'll that's what it looks like, 2x3, and then the gutter's probably going to be a 4-inch gutter, and then the gutter will stick down a little bit, and then you'll see that reveal. See, they actually have that trim on that too, and they actually have it on your fascia board up here, and that is just so that everything matches, I guess, because they didn't necessarily have to do that right there, but I guess their roofing material would stick out that far, and then that gives them something for their flashing to tie into, and then that is stuck out from your barge rafter, and it just looks like the rest. Just looks like the rest. Okay, and here, see, they got the R and they've got it crossed out. So they've even changed their mind a couple times. Here they've got the R. Here they had it just stopped to there, and now they've got it changed to 4. So it'll be interesting to see. So see, you know, you can change your mind on certain things. That is if. Now here's something else. This could be in an HOA. And if it wasn't an HOA, maybe they had to submit the plans to the HOA, and maybe the HOA said, hey, we want you to extend, or we're okay with this and this, but you have to carry that same thing all the way, or you only have to carry it a certain place. And so that could be going on too, because see right there, they've got an R and a 4. Here they've got an R and a 4. So that's just kind of odd. Okay. So I hope this gives you an idea of what your roofing could look like. They could have made this roof slightly different. They could have put hips on them. These are gable ends. A hip would be going the other way, and your architect can give you renditions of what your roof can look like. And if you don't like it one way, you can tell them, hey, can you give me 1 or 2 different ideas of what my roof could look like, you know, and then I'll pick one, or I'll like 3/4 of it and I'll have you modify something or whatever. Okay, so you can do things like that too. Okay, I think I'm done for tonight. Yes, it's getting dark. Oh, look at that. You can't even see me. Where am I? Ah, yeah, see, you can't even really see me. But I'm here. I'm here. That's all I got for this time. And I'll be back with more videos and I tried to get this last bit in because I was out here doing I did 2 other videos before this one. I did one for plumbing top out, and then I did one for air conditioning, the air returns and the exhaust fans. So look for those on my channel. And again, to find all my other preceding videos for how to build a house, go to my main YouTube channel page and scroll down to playlists, okay? And go to how to build a house, and you'll find more videos for you.